This is the Audi RS3 Sportback. It has an engine that makes 400 horsepower. It will do 0 to 62 in 3.8 seconds and has a new drift mode. It's the latest in a line of hot hatches that deliver supercar performance, and it's also very, very late to the party.
You see, as brilliant as this car might seem, it's kind of showing up to the party after everyone else has pulled. We got our first taste of the Golf R at the beginning of 2021, and the AMG A45S has been around since God was a boy. Should we care? Or is this fashionably late super hatch gonna be the life and soul of the party?
Historically, RS3s haven't always been the hot hatches you turn to for fun. They've always been fast, but the common perception is that they do have a tendency to underwhelm and understeer in the bends. Audi is well aware of this, of course, and with this new RS3, they've taken some very big steps to fix things.
Let's see if they've been successful. That works. What you're looking at is a smile on my face. I'm driving an Audi, and I am quite entertained by the handling. Do you know what? I might even go as far as to say, I'm having fun.
How on earth have they managed it? Well, with a few tricks they've acquired over the years, which they've applied liberally to this new model.
One of the most obvious things is that the RS3 has wider tyres up front than at the back. Usually on a car, all your tyres are the same size, or on a performance car, you have bigger rubber at the back. But in this case, Audi wanted to minimize understeer, that phenomenon where you turn and your car keeps going straight instead of around the bend. So up front, we have two 6.5 section tyres, and at the back, we have two 4.5s.
This new version of the RS3 also has a wider track, allowing less weight to be transferred from one side of the car to another, improving stability. It has a lower ride height for less roll and more feel, but perhaps the biggest tweak can be found living between the wheels on the rear axle.
The other addition working overtime to reduce understeer is the new RS torque splitter. The RS3 has always been able to send 50% of its power to the front and 50% to the rear. But with the addition of a new multi-plate clutch on each rear axle shaft, the RS3 can now send 100% of its rear power to one wheel or the other to improve agility and minimize understeer even further. To make the most of that fancy diff, you've got to tap into the drive select menu and then select torque rear mode, at which point you can pretty much go nuts. It's effectively a drift mode in this car, but as with all these systems, you might find that simply switching the traction control completely off gives you a little bit more freedom and makes the car feel more playful and a bit less artificial. Basically, you can pull bigger angles. What's interesting is that this car isn't just a drift machine. That torque rear mode helps the car to turn in regardless of what you're doing. Just like there, you can feel the outside wheel sending more power to the rear left, in my case, in that corner, when you go around the right-hander. And that just makes it feel more turny, if that's a word. It wants to rotate. Understeer is still present if you drive like an idiot, but the balance is very interesting in this car. It's really playful. In the past, RS3s, they've kind of been more about the engine than anything else, but now it feels like we've got the car to match the power unit.
As for that 400 horsepower engine, it's a joy. It's less powerful than the one in the A45S despite having an extra cylinder, but Audi claim it will do 0 to 62 in 3.8 seconds, 0.1 quicker than the Merc. And it does feel rapid, particularly from a standstill. The noise could be better. This 5-cylinder should have a lot more character than the 2-litre 4-cylinder engines used by its rivals, but the reality is that the cats, silencers and particulate filters in use here don't allow it to sing the song we know it can.
Special shout to the gearbox as well. 7-speed dual clutch S-Tronic, shifts nice and quick up and down the box. I'm not quite sure it's as responsive as the dual clutch box in the AMG 45S, but it's certainly responsive. No manual option here, of course, but you can definitely have a good time rowing up and down the box using the paddles. Shouts out to the brakes as well. The seatbelt tightened, it thought I was having an accident. That's how violently this car stops. Wow, you get carbon ceramics as an option. I'm being choked here. But the steels which are fitted to this car are incredible. That is one of the defining characteristics of this car, the way it stops. Yes, confidence inspiring. And choky. That's better. So how does the new RS3 Sportback stand up to its main rivals? Well, it demolishes the VW Golf R for power, absolutely destroys that car, and even though it's slightly down on power compared to the A45S, we've just seen it's every bit as quick, if not quicker, and actually, I'd say the handling is better than on the Merc. It's more playful, it's more like an old school hot hatch. Understeer is banished completely. Audi, they've changed the game. It might have taken them a while, but now they're here with the RS3. The party can finally get started. Come on.